Today on our podcast, folks, Rise and Reach, Helping the Helpers, we have Tom Ocean, who goes by Victor Tom, and his lovely wife, Anna. Vic is a former social worker who worked in Thailand, and his wife, Anna, is a professional seamstress and children's advocate. Both are entrepreneurial, and both of these lovely people from Kenya champion the plight of African youth, devoting themselves to improving their lives. I would love our listeners to start off with Vic and Anna. Would you please tell how you two met and the beginning of your long 40 plus years together? Would you mind sharing that story? Let's let people get to know you a little bit.
Oh, thank you, Catie. My name is Victor Tom Ochieng, and I'm from Kenya. I am 62 years old. I'm married to Anna. Anna and I have 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. We live in Kenya and we have been married for 39 years.
So how did you two, thank you for telling us a little bit about your family. That's very helpful. And I understand that you have some grandchildren too. And then tell us that story.
We have 3 grandchildren, Gianna, Daniela, and King Ruel. Daniela and King Ruel are my grandchildren from my daughter, Corinne. And Gianna is my grandchild, my granddaughter from my firstborn son, Daniel. Anna and I met in a very funny way. Anna's father was my father's best friend. And they met during their heyday as young youth, and they were working in a church in some place in Nyakora. So they continued to be friends until we were grown up. So that is how I met Anna, and I'm glad to say that I met Anna through my father, because my father had gone to visit her father, and then he said that, oh, you have a daughter, and I also have a son. That's how the proceedings started, if I may not say much. That is how I met Anna. My father invited me. By that time, I was living in another town. So I told my father that I wanted to get married, and he told me that if you want to get married, please come and see me. We can talk over this. Surprisingly, when I went there and I told him, my father said that he knows of a girl who is very charming, and her father is her friend, and he knew their background. And when he told me that, I was very furious with my father. I didn't want that, and I told him that, Baba, you have no right to choose me for me a wife. I can do that myself, and I have known some women. I can decide on who I want to marry. But then I gave him a benefit of doubt, and I wanted to see Anna. So when I saw Anna the next day, I told him that she's good. I'm going to think about that, but thank you. Then the next day I told my father that I would want to go and meet Anna's father. So he went and told Anna's father, and the following day I went to meet Anna. That's how it started. So that was some times back in 1985. That was in 1985. I was 23 then, Anna was 17.
Oh my goodness.
In 1986, August 22nd, Anna joined me. August 26th, sorry. Anna joined me and we started to stay as husband and wife.
That's a beautiful story. And that's a great factual background, but there was somebody else in the picture with Anna at that time. Didn't she choose you over him?
Yes. You see, when Catie, when you are meeting a girl who is dating, you do not believe that she is dating only you. But in the first place, Anna was not dating with me, but I knew maybe she had a boyfriend. And then because maybe I was more charming than whoever she had, then she decided to put up with me. Because she will never tell you that I was dating someone, but you see, this is somebody, you are marrying someone who is dating.
Yes, of course.
So,
okay.
So I thought from it that she was dating someone, but she thought maybe I was better than that person, and she decided to marry me.
There you go. And here we are. That's thank you for sharing that story. And now, Vic, you have stood up for what you believe for a very long time. You've always stood against stood up for the underdog and stood up for what you believe. You were also a political dissident at one time, some years ago. What was that all about? Did you stood up to what happened, and what happened to where I think you ended up? Go ahead.
You see, sometimes because you see, sometimes of the economic hardships, then when something happens and maybe you want to discredit the government and you make some statements against the president that you wish he was not, this is a bad president, I wish he was dead because his cost of living is high, blah, blah, blah. And before the enactment of the Constitution of 2010, Kenya was following the Lancaster House Constitution, which was given to us by the British government. So imagining president's death was punishable by law. And I tried to imagine that the president was causing the common man to suffer so much, and I said that publicly. So I got arrested for that, for trying to imagine that the president would be dead. And that was treason in Kenya's old constitution. So that made me arrested. But after some time, I was acquitted because it was kind of my own opinion. And as you know, that everyone is entitled to an opinion. So the magistrate ruled that that was my opinion. And because everyone is free to speak his mind, I had no case to answer. But I had stayed in prison for 1 year. So you can imagine how much time was wasted for something like that. But because you see these things happen, Catie, when there are no jobs, the youth are suffering, the common man is suffering, prices of commodities are increasing, people tend to agree that the government is failing them. And if the government is failing you, then you better speak your mind, because that is when we can engage the government, when we demonstrate, when we say things that are not right. Because I believe, and that one I believe up to today, that the constitution of a country is for the people against the government. Because if a government imposes impunity on people, they have the constitution to protect them. But it is not the same in my country, even to date, that the government thinks that the constitution is for the government against the common man.
Yes.
I know the constitution is for the person who is for the person that is being governed from the government.
And today, and you couldn't have said it better, Vic. And I totally agree with you today that the governments around the world, a number of them are failing the people, and they're also failing the youth. And now I understand that during that year that you were being incarcerated for speaking up, Anna stood by you and she was with you. She that whole year that you were incarcerated, Anna, you stood by your husband. And
Yes.
and you had that was not an easy year for you. So um Anna, why don't we shift a little bit? We understand that the government, because of the government, is not on some levels working for the people today. The youth are suffering, and that is one of the reasons that we are here to talk about African youth and what you two are doing on behalf of the youth. Anna, um, can as far as what you currently do, okay? What, how did it all begin? I understand sometimes you refer to your the project that you were working with as So City, SEW City. I'm going to shift to Anna for a minute. And Anna,
Okay.
how did things, that's okay. How did, you can stay there, stay in the picture, Vic. But what I want to say is, Anna, tell me how So City began, Anna. What happened? It was around 2019. Anna, what happened that changed your life radically?
Well, in 2019, I became sick. I became sick. I was struck by a disease called lupus. Autoimmune disorder. It took the doctors too long to discover what is going on in my body. So I suffered a lot. But at the end, they discover the disease. Now I'm on treatment and I'm happy. I'm healing day by day. I'm healing and I'm happy. And from there, I decided to help the youth because I imagined when I die, I will leave no legacy, no good legacy behind. And our youths are suffering, and I have the skills in my brain. So I decided to start Sioux City and share the skills with the youth. But the government doesn't care. Our government don't care about the poor, to give them skills so that when they know the skills, they can sustain themselves and we can't live in the poverty.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Anna, thank you for sharing that because I love your heart for young people. And you were a professional seamstress. You had your own store, you had your own shop. And so you recognize the value of doing these things. And what I would like to say also during this horrible time in your lives, from 2019 to about 2023, I think it was, if I remember right, 3 or 4 years. Vic, why don't you tell how that was for you with Anna during those 4 years? I understood you stood by her side during during that incredible time. Would you like to tell a little bit from your side how that was?
Yes, you know, Catie, when you have a patient and the patient is dying and the doctor cannot find the disease, to some extent you are affected. You are affected because you have to change your lifestyle, because Anna was strong, was doing her things, was saving, could help me pay the bills, but now she is so sick, and I want to know how best I can help my wife. When she became sick, things changed completely for me because I had to foot hospital bill. I had to take her to hospital. I had to do other things that we used to cost to share. So it became very hard for me to survive. But I thank God, because you see, everything is with God. I want to say that this was temptation, because when you have a sick person, you first is also very sick. And the healing process of a sick person starts with you, because you have to help her. You have to do everything possible to make sure that she gets support. And even if she dies, she should not think that you neglected her. So my life changed because I had to take care of Anna. I had to pay the bills. I had to make sure she gets good medical attention. I had to make sure that she eats. I had to make sure that I do everything in the house, like keeping the house clean, washing the clothes, doing laundry, doing everything. And I had to leave the business I was doing so that I may be able to take care of my wife. Lupus is a very dreaded disease, because with someone with lupus, today she wakes up well, tomorrow she is critically ill. The drugs for this medicine, the drugs for this disease are not found, because in stores, those drugs are dead stock. This is a new disease that does not exist mostly in Africa. And even the doctors try very hard to know which kind of autoimmune is this. And the case with Anna was that she was given wrong medication for almost 2 years. And you can imagine, she took medicine which are not to cure the systematic lupus erythematosus. I don't know how it is called in English, but it's a very, very, very dangerous disease. So when the doctor found out the type of this disease, that is when Anna started to feel better. And it took us a lot of time to make sure that she survived. And we spent so much with no money, because I had to leave my business. I had to take care of Anna. I had to pay bills, but there was no income. So that affected me 100%.
So, Anna and Vic, thank you for sharing that. And your commitment to each other is profound. It's just something that in this world of shallow commitments to each other and marriage being disposable, you two are a beacon of, to me, you two are a beacon of light in your relationship and your commitment to each other. Now, I'd like to, now, other men might walk away, but you did not. You stayed. And what would you tell other men what would you tell other men who have are looking at a marriage as a temporary thing, as disposable? What do you have anything to say to men, other men?
Yes,
What
yes.
what
I have
motivates you?
I have a lot. I have a lot to say. Catie, as I told you that Anna and I have been married for almost 40 years. I married Anna in 1986, and we are in 2025. That's 39 years. That's a long time in marriage. And what marriage means is caring for each other. Anna is not an angel. I'm also not an angel. I have to know that At one point, she can be tempted. At one time, she can do what is not right. And I have to understand clearly that he is not an angel. You see, I've told you that Anna was sick since 2019 to 2022. And I was doing everything for Anna. I could take her to the bathroom, I could clothe her, I could do everything, I could feed her. But I was not doing that for Anna. That's what I want to tell other men. When you decide to marry, you first have to understand what marriage means. Marriage means two bodies becoming one, because the body of Anna is enjoined with my body in marriage. So when Anna is sick, I am also very sick because her body has become mine. And remember, when you go to the altar, you promise the pastor that in sickness, in goodness, come rain, come sunshine, you will stick together. So I was not doing that for Anna. I was proving what I told my God within the altar, that in sickness and in bad times, we will stick together. So my God was seated somewhere looking at me. So that is why I say that Anna's sickness to sometimes was a test. God wanted to test us and wanted to see if indeed I will stick to the promise I made to God, that when Anna is sick, I will stick with her. When there is sunshine, I will stick with her. And that also happened to Anna. When I was incarcerated, I was in prison for 1 year. And God also wanted to see if Anna was going to stick with me, because she promised her own God that I will stick with him. And I think I am happy to say that we have passed that test. So men should also understand that some other things come as a temptation. God is tempting. God wants to see if what you promise him, you will live up to that. And that is exactly what happened to us. We are a couple family, very happy. We know very well that we still have a long way to go, but we have to love each other in hardship, in good times, and in bad times. Because in this life, I want to say, in life, life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. And thank you, Catie, for asking that question.
You're very welcome. You two, to me, are stellar examples of what it means to be God-fearing people. Thank you for that. Now, Anna, I understand that you yourself, you said you work for free. What is your schedule? Don't you work 6 days a week doing this? Tell a little bit about what you do with these young people. How many do you have right now? And what is your day like? Can you describe it a little bit?
Okay, well, I'm happy. I'm happy to help the youth. As at now, I have 12 youths, 2 boys and 10 girls. Among these young girls, some have children. Some of them have children. And I do make effort every day. I work from Monday to Friday. Saturday, I don't work. I give them off to go and relax so that even me, I can gather strength. So in a week, I work for 5 days, from Monday to Friday. These 12 youths, I train them. I teach them how to sell their products after making. I give them life skills. And every Thursday, we do study Bible. We have Bible study. Even though as at now, it is a bit tricky because I have only one Bible, and now we are 12. plus me as a trainer, 13. I have my Bible. My supportive staff doesn't have a Bible, and the students don't have Bible. But I know with time we will have Bibles. Everyone will have his or her own Bible, so that when we meditate, when I say a verse, everyone can easily turn to the verse and read. I'm happy because these are the children of God. I'm here in the world to help the people of God. God gives me life for free. Why should I sell the skills for the needy people? That's why I decided to share with them my skills. And they are happy. And I am happy, and I'm just praising God for the period I will be here on earth. I will try my best to help the young people because they are like my branches.
Anna, thank you for that. And I love your motivations. You two are amazing, are amazing people. So, Anna, tell me, do some of these young people that you two, we'll talk a little bit more, Vic, about your part, how you select these young people, because that appears to be kind of what you do. You interview them. So, Anna, during the day when they come, are they hungry? Many of these young people, what is their situation? They don't have money.
Well, this youth doesn't have money. They don't have any income. So when they come in the morning, they feel hungry, and we decided with Vic to give them a tea break. I have a supportive staff who helps me make them tea and snacks. So whatever little we have, we share together. And that motivates them because some of them at home, there's nothing. And when they come to the workshop, they can get something. And now, last week, one of them asked me to come with her child. It's sometimes tricky because when she's doing the practicals, I will be there as a grandmother to play with the child. And as you know, my hands can't lift a baby, they are weak.
Yeah.
So we can just play with the child. But that is for a time.
Right.
She will be leaving the child at home. Right now, we give them tea break.
Okay.
But when time comes, we are planning that we will be giving them even lunch.
Okay.
Because empty mind can't concentrate.
Yeah, that is true. So, you could a little more income now for Bibles and for food for these young people that you're trying to help. Now, that's very important because empty stomachs don't make strong minds, as you say. What these single moms, if they weren't coming to see you, what would they be? How would they be providing for their children? Can you share a little bit about that?
For those who have children, the family take care. I'm not in a position to help the children, the young children. If I were in a position, I could have a nursery with the children in another room. training, but I can't. Now, me, I'm just providing the tea break, go home. Everyone has his or her own story.
So Vic, I'd like to hear your perspective on these young people, because I understand that while Anna is in the office, so to speak, helping these young people, you're out there on the road, actually interviewing all these different choices. That has got to be one of the most difficult things, to say no to some and yes to others. Would you share a little bit about these young people that you run into and how you choose the ones that will be accepted?
Okay, thank you for asking that. These girls, they apply for training through the church. Anna announces that at the church, and then we take their contacts, and when I am vetting, I go to their homes, and I try very hard to know exactly the position of their life. Most of these girls are orphans. They stay with their old people, like grandmother or even a relative. But for me to pick them, for me to pick one to come for the training, I must ascertain that indeed she is needy. Some of these children, Anna doesn't know their background, because it is me who go on the ground to vet them. So you find that sometimes they don't even have something to eat. Those whom we admit are those who from vulnerable completely. Those people who are very poor. They have no one. They only stay with their grandmother. Some even stay by themselves. Because when you lose your parents, and maybe probably you have no one, and as you know, in Africa, sometimes people go buy land, they stay very far from their folks. Like, for example, we bought land here, but my family is very far from me, 50 kilometers. So these girls, most of their parents are dead, both mother and father, and they stay with their grandfather. Some of these girls also bring up other children, and I have to ascertain completely that they cannot support themselves. Because they are poor, sometimes they eat only one meal a day. Other children have lost their parents, but they have good wealth. They stay in their good houses, they have food, they have everything because their parents were rich. Those ones we don't take. We take those who are very poor completely. Some don't even have clothes. And I see many times Anna giving them old clothes that she used to wear a long time ago and does not use them, she gives them. So one of the tests that I have to know is, are there relatives that can support you? If there are, then it is also best to go and talk to those relatives. These children, when they come, we do not know whether they eat at home or not, because sometimes when they come, they say, I did not eat last night, I have no food, I don't know what my children will eat at night. So we feel so sad about this, because it is, as Anna said, it is very hard to train someone who is hungry. And we feel very sorry. But these children really suffer on the background at their home. When they go back, they really suffer. They have nothing, totally nothing, because they spend the whole day with Anna. So when they go home, we really don't even want to imagine, because I know I go to do vetting. I know how they survive. Before I admit somebody, I am sure that she is struggling with life. Thank you.
So, thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. It brings kind of tears to my eyes, because you guys not only feed and clothe these young people and train them, you're committed to their whole lives. Do you have any success stories of, maybe one success story? You follow these young people when they graduate and you certify them. Do you have any success stories? Is there anyone that stands out to you that you've helped, that you would like to share their story? Either one of you.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I think the lot I have now is Cycle 4. And from cycle 1 to 3, I have some who are very successful. In fact, one has put her own workshop. Some are just doing piecework. They have not stabilized. They are trying to make ends meet by doing the jobs in the company so that they can save and have their own sewing machines. But quite a number of them are stable, and I'm happy.
So Anna, the one person that opened her own shop, that's the exception. So if people wanted to help you, they could also offer to purchase a sewing machine for one of these graduating young people, so that person could start their own shop. So that is another way that if someone out there is listening, that is one way you can help. Anna, how much does a sewing machine cost if somebody had some money? Can you tell us a little bit about the cost? Either one of you, share about the cost of a sewing machine.
Okay.
So go ahead, Anna.
Thank you. For someone to own a sewing machine, we have different types of the machines. The cheapest is like $100. That one is not bad for the start. If someone can get that one, she or he can start from there, make clothes, and she can save so that she can get a good one. But for the start, that one is good.
Maybe if I can add something about those machines, Catie.
Yes.
There are very many types of machines. There are electric machines and there are manual machines.
Mm-hmm.
The best machine for a graduate is a manual machine, where she's going to use no electricity because they cannot afford to rent a shop that has electricity. So these machines are costing less. Like for example, maybe $100 to $150, and sometimes if you can buy a second hand, some machines that are used, they can be found at maybe 10,000 Kenya shillings or $70, like that. But it is good if we had the money, we would be taking them for graduation, and immediately when they graduate, we would supply one with a sewing machine. That would be very good, because that machine, if we give a student who is just completed her training and we send her off with the machine, then she can find even a veranda of a shop and put there a machine to start generating income. That is the most primary thing that we have wanted with Anna, that if somebody graduates, then she sits somewhere and start earning her money through
for as little as $70 for any student that actually finishes the certification process. They $70, maybe a Treadle sewing machine, a manual, non-electric sewing machine. These young people can go and start over, folks. $70, folks. $100 for a sewing machine.
Yes,
You can change the life of one of these young people. Well, folks, today we have been able to have a wonderful interview, for the most part, with Vic and Anna, Tom. But unfortunately, with this dear couple, our interview is going to be shortened a little bit because of the difficulties that we're having with the connection. So I'm going to say that it is safe to assume that this dear couple will not turn down any money that you folks want to send them for Bibles, for food for their people, for clothing, and for a machine for as little as $100. You can start a young person off and in life and give them redirection. So, folks, their ongoing sacrificial support with Anna's vision has changed the future for over 40 young people. And they have plans to help more. So they have many challenges, but with God's help, they are pressing forward one day at a time. And we see Anna struggling with her health. And Vic out there, they're rebuilding their lives since COVID. And they've started over themselves. They've sold their properties to help Anna stay alive. They have, out of their own brokenness, helped others with their brokenness to start over like they are. I'd like to say that Vic and Anna Tom Oshan are examples of what we should all strive for, helping our fellow man with little or no regard for ourselves. It's time to end now, but folks, this is it for today's episode. Again, thank you, Vic and Anna, for sharing your heartwarming story of where you were, where you are, and where you're going. If you want to know how to help those who are helping others, stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you for listening in, and God bless you. This is Catie signing off. Goodbye.